Welcome to beautiful Rimini, Italy, your host city for the third season of the Volleyball Nations League, where the top teams in the world have come to compete. We have all been patiently waiting for the national teams to reconvene, get back on the court, and I can't believe we're finally here. I'm Salima Rockwell, and for the next 5 weeks, I will be your host of the Quick Set. Every day, I'll come to you with a recap of the previous day's matches and the highlight players of the day, the top plays of the day, and looking ahead, looking forward at our projected match of the day. I will bring on a commentator with me to talk, discuss, maybe argue a little bit about all things VNL. And today, I have with me a longtime commentator and everyone's favorite international volleyball voice, Clayton Lucas. Thanks for joining us.
I'm delighted to be here, and I promise I'm not going to argue with you, honestly. Okay, I don't want to argue with you.
I think that would be great. So let's talk a little bit to everyone out there about the structure of the VNL, how it's normally structured, and the differences now that we're all here in one city.
For the first 2 seasons, we've had the Volleyball Nations League played all over the world on 3 days, the women playing for 3 days, a gap, and then the men playing for 3 days. But now everybody's here. We've got 32 teams in this bubble here in the host city of Rimini. We have 2 courts, we have training courts, training facilities. So everybody's here. There's no jet lag. Everyone is going to be able to be at their best. And what that means for the viewers is we've got 8 matches of volleyball every day for 30 days. And then we've got 4 days of volleyball with 2 matches a day as we go into the finals.
It's so much volleyball. I can't wait. It's going to be so exciting. And the one thing that I wanted to point out and talk about that's significant is the host country doesn't have a guaranteed place in the final.
In the past, whoever was going to host the finals that final week would be guaranteed a spot. So for them, the actual Volleyball Nations League was more about, oh, we can try this out, we can do that. No chance here.
Right.
Italy are hosting, but they're not guaranteed to be in the final. You've got to earn your place here, and it will be the top teams that will go through to the finals.
And this also isn't just another volleyball tournament.
In the past, the Volleyball Nations League didn't attract any world ranking points. Now it does. World ranking points are so important because where you are in the world rankings determines whether or not you qualify for the Olympic Games outside of the continental qualifiers. So this event means a lot to everybody.
And these teams have been all in different places in their training. A lot has happened since the pandemic started and how they're in and out of training. And all the teams are in a pretty different place right now.
It's a different sort of scenario. In the past, it was jet lag.
Right.
Now it's COVID for the reason that in some parts of the world, volleyball hasn't started. Leagues didn't get back up and running. In other parts of the world, the leagues have been going, players have been back playing, and they've had a busy schedule. So we are going to see different teams here in terms of who's coming and who's playing. For those teams that have been involved with extensive volleyball, some of the big names are having a rest, but there's an opportunity for them to come in later on in the tournament. And for other teams, they are just getting back into it. And we're going to see a real mixture here of exciting new players that we've never seen. So we're going to see some rising stars. We're seeing that next generation of player, which we might normally see after an Olympics. We're seeing now in the run-up to the Olympics, and they're going to be the players that are going to be making names for themselves.
Well, and I love that idea, the idea of the mix of the teams, the veteran teams, some youth, and I think that's what's going to make it so special and so exciting to watch this year. So let's take a look back at the previous season and the VNL final. So last year was the USA women who were down 0-2 against Brazil, made their push and a comeback.
They played really well, and you can't take anything away from when you're 2-0 down. It doesn't matter who you're playing. There's to come back and win the next 3. That's a big achievement. All I will say, and we're not going to argue, okay? But all I will say is Brazil were 2-0 up. Then Natalia got injured.
Yeah.
Went off. Okay, she was playing so well, but credit the USA. They took the opportunity. You know, if a player gets injured on court and then don't come off, you're going to put the ball on them, all right? If it's beach volleyball, or whatever it's, you know, you're going to take advantage of that. USA took advantage of that, and they got their result. They had to work for it. It wasn't easy. That 5th set was very close.
Right.
So they earned it. They got there, and it made them 2-time VNL champions.
Right. And for the men, it was the Russian men that beat the USA in Chicago in the USA.
Yes, I was commentating that one with Alfred Reft, and it was a fantastic tournament, fantastic finals. Just having a look at it as it goes on, they got themselves in such a good place here.
serve from Holt. But Polyatev's done it, it's off the block and away. Russia have taken gold here in Chicago. It is back-to-back VNL victories for Russia. They have defeated the USA by 3-1.
Russia dominated that VNL. Okay, they've come here again with their top team. I expect them to do just as well. The thing about Russian volleyball, it used to be big, tall, heavy hitting, high ball coming down with snow on it out wide, but then they would go boom, boom. Now it's big, tall, heavy hitting, fast ball out wide, boom, boom. So, from a great height. They're just so good. They've got such strength in depth. Their league is one of the best in the world. And again, they've come here. I expect them to do well.
So aside from the Russian men, who else are you looking forward to seeing? We have lots of teams in front of us for the next 5 weeks.
And this is where I get back on the fence
yes.
and say, there's 32 teams here, men and women, and I'm a passionate fan of volleyball. First and foremost, I'm a fan of volleyball. And that's, for me, I love volleyball. I don't love a team or a player. I love everybody. It's great. And there'll be moments where we'll see some individual brilliance. We'll see some teams shine and have an overachieve and get a result potentially. So for me, I'm just looking forward to watching volleyball again, being able to be in this environment and enjoy it. And hopefully for everybody watching can sit back and pick their games. They won't be able to watch 8 in a day because they're not going to do anything.
Some of them might.
They might well do, but 8 games to choose from. And over that time, there's going to be months and months and months and months of volleyball they can watch as and when and pick those live games they want to watch during the course of each day.
So speaking of matches of the day and looking ahead and looking forward, USA women versus Dominican Republic is our match of the day. Last time these two teams met, the Dominican Republic bested the USA in NORCECA championships. And now they are back. This will be the first match that the USA plays against since that match.
Brilliant serve as well for Dela Cruz. And a pickup. Free ball, Dominican Republic. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Was really struggling to score even in the games they won. Lost the place to Pena Isabel. What a fine kill. Thompson has found her rhythm here inside the
So
antenna.
just looking at how they got on in the Volleyball Nations League, and you look at the different traits that the teams have. The USA are so well organised. They're so disciplined. They have the ability to play a 6-2 or a 5-1. And for those of you not sure what that means, a 6-2 is where you make the double substitution with the opposite in the setter. And the USA were doing that by rote. In the set, certain point, that's going to happen. So there's a real structure about the way they play. And it just keeps pressure on. When you've got 3 front row players, attackers, for 4 or 5 rotations, it's so much pressure on the other team. So the USA will be looking to use that. They'll be looking to use their serving, which they're very good at. And if they serve well, they get the team out of transition, out of system. But you know what? If they don't get it right, this is what can happen. The Dominican Republic have the ability, have the strength, have the capability, and have the belief to get the results.
Well, they absolutely do. And I think I had the pleasure of calling the Professional Volleyball League in the United States this past spring, the Athletes Unlimited Professional Volleyball League, where Jordan Larson and Betania Dela Cruz were in a bubble together, playing against one another for 5 weeks in a row. And it was so fun to watch them build a relationship with one another and play against and with one another in that environment. So I'm excited to see them. But both of these players are surrounded by fantastic teams.
Volleyball, you're not used to adding anything up. The only aggregate I can remember.
This is a great format in terms of how the Athletes Unlimited was played. So it's all about a team, but individuals within the team. So doing well and making sure that if you want to win that, you have to play well and help your teammates. But the opportunity to play against and with players that these guys would not normally have done was brilliant. It completely gave another dimension to volleyball. It's another format which just increases the excitement of the game anyway.
It was so fun, and we had a draft every single week. So Jordan Larson and Betania Dela Cruz were usually captains, and they were up there fighting for their teams and drafting their players, and every single week coming back again and again as the top point scorers.
But now, of course, there's a net between them. So they might as well not know each other. And you can imagine there might just be a little bit of, hey, how's it going? But that'll probably be it. Once we get into, you step over the line and you're getting ready to play, you've got to be focused on what you're doing.
Right.
And yes, okay, there's no crowd here, but you know what? Even though there's no crowd here, the players and those players that played in those environments, you're trying to switch that off anyway. It's nice, you get that rush when you come in, the crowd go crazy. But when you play, you're playing, and the focus is on what you need to do. So some elements won't change, and in terms of how they'll be playing against each other, they'll be wanting to go. There'll be no love lost between them once the whistle goes.
Absolutely, and Jordan Larson has the two last MVPs of the VNL on her team in Michelle Barch-Hackley and Andy Drews.
Back off the fence now, one of my favourites. But I just love the way she plays. She's such an experienced campaigner. Nothing phases her. She's got that stone cold, I'm game face on, start to finish. She's so canny. She doesn't get up. She can hit the ball hard on the down the line if you leave her that. She can hit the ball hard cross court. She can get block out. She passes brilliant. She's got a great serve. She's the complete package in what she does, and she really does bring that team along to make them perform at their best.
And speak a little bit about Michelle Barch-Hackley.
Michelle Barch-Hackley, again, brilliant player. Been a little bit on the fringes for the national team because she's got Kelsey Robinson, Kimberly Hill, and of course Jordan Larson in those positions. But when she gets her opportunity, she's a real impact player who can have such an effect on the team. And the guys on court know if they're not playing, there's someone waiting to come on who can do the job. And for her, it's now maybe it's her time to say, establish herself as a starter and really just take the team up to get another VNL, and who knows what might happen at the Olympics.
Right. Andy Drews was last MVP.
Again, lefty on the right side. It's a classic combination that Coach Kirai likes to have. Those Caster Low, another lefty that they like to play in that position. Again, tall, hits high, hits hard, doesn't need a run up. So sometimes when they're out of system and the ball will suddenly come back to her and she's got, oh, I can just jump and hit. And she can find angles. She's good at getting the block out. My only constructive criticism would be that sometimes when the ball's inside and low, she gets caught out by that. She'll want to go and have a swing on the ball. She's very quick to apologise, but that's the only thing. When that gets right, when she gets that right, she's brilliant. Again, Barch-Hackley, who's looking at some of the footage here, the opportunity and the ability they have to run. Drew's running on that pipe. She can run what I like to call the inside 10 when they run the slide behind. So they've got so many attacking options, the USA, when they're in system. So difficult to stop.
It's extremely difficult to stop. And you watch the team play and what they provide on each side with Hackley on the left, of course, Drews on the right. And we'll see what the USA does with their lineup if they're back in that 6-2 like we talked about, like they have been in. But we look ahead at the Dominican Republic. Betania de la Cruz is also surrounded by fantastic players. She, of course, has her libero and Brenda Castillo and Aneris Vargas, and talk a little bit about those two players.
Aneris Vargas, middle blocker, 1.96 m. She's 39 years old now. Age is just a number, by the way, okay? But she'll be going to the Olympics if she gets selected as the oldest player at the Olympics at 40. But doesn't mean she can't play. She's got all that experience that she'll know whether she needs to commit in the middle or whether she'll get outside. And she might just go, do you know what, I'm not going to get outside, I'll just stop off and cover. But the thing is, she knows how to play the game. So good in what she does. And she's going to be a real threat through the middle. Castillo, one of the best liberos in the world, okay, and a real character, a little bit prickly in that respect. You know, she's not. It's a bit like Marmite. You either like her or hate her. For those of you who don't know what Marmite is, but the point being, and she's so good for the team. So when she's functioning and she can get the team working, then yeah, a really good, exciting proposition to watch.
So an overall summary of the match coming up. What does the USA need to do to win? What does the Dominican Republic need to do to beat the USA again?
I like the fact that you've used the word need. I think for the Dominican Republic, there is a need. They do need to do some certain things. For the USA, it's what they want to do, what they can do. They'll serve tough. They will try to get the Dominican Republic out of systems, reduce their hitting options. On the back of that, as you saw in that little clip, Drew's blocking a monster block. It's a classic block. Whatever gets above the net gets across the net. They're not coming up and here, they're going here. Now suddenly they're right into the faces, they're right into that, really close to the ball. Off the back of that, they're great defenders. They can transition and hit. So that's what they've got in their arsenal. For the Dominican Republic, to counter that, they've got to pass well. in order so they can run their options. If they can run their options, they can split the USA's block, they can find the gaps, they can put the ball on the floor. They too then need to serve tough themselves in order to be able to try and stop the USA having all their options. It's going to be a fascinating battle of two teams with plenty of history, local rivals. Can't wait to watch it.
Well, you heard it here first on the quick set. Clayton Lucas joining me. Thank you so much, Clayton, for being here and a part of the quick set.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So we'd like for you to tune in and watch on Volleyball World TV, and also follow Volleyball World on social media, Instagram, Twitter. You can find it, watch the matches, tune in. You've got a ton of volleyball, and that's it for the quick set, and we will see you here again tomorrow.